Welcome back to episode 6. Made it 6 plus. Matt, here we go. Let's start this episode off.
Yeah, today we got Cooper Walker, first year with the Guelph Storm. Played in the Dutchies as a 16-year-old, first year Storm. So we're going to talk about the OHL. We're going to get to know him a bit, talk about his dad too in the NHL career. So let's get into it.
For sure.
For the people listening, just your hockey. We usually make people give a general outline of their career so far in whatever sport they do.
Yeah, I play hockey. I started my first year of travel hockey was in North Carolina in the States. I played one year there, and then I moved back to Cambridge, Ontario, and played minor hockey all the way up until last year. I played a year with Junior B in Kitchener, and then this year I played in Guelph, OHL.
So
when you were in,
go ahead.
no, sorry, this is a question about North Carolina. So how old were you when you went there? Sorry.
I lived there from when I was about 2 till about 7. I played when I was 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And was that because of your dad?
Yeah,
right?
When my dad was playing for Carolina, we lived there.
Right.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about that later for sure. But just to start, so everyone listening, like we said before, McFarlane was our biggest guest. So what was you guys have identical careers? Like what's that like? Like you guys played together most of your minor hockey, then you played against each other for 1 year and then right back together.
No, it's been cool. For most of our minor hockey, we played on the same line. And then this year, again, we played on the same line for most of the year. So it's been pretty cool. It's good to have that chemistry and kind of know what his tendencies are on the ice, and it's easier to play with.
What about playing against them that 1 year?
Oh, it's cool. A little competition, friendly competition. I think my team got the best of them, but well,
do you guys try to run each other at all though, or I hate playing my friends because I just find it awkward. You don't know what to do.
No, exactly. I think you just kind of got to forget about it on the ice and then just be buddies after again.
Yeah, for sure. What should we jump in next here? So you want to talk about your year with the Dutchies?
Sure.
So what was that like? You played with Kowalik. I think we're gonna try to get him on later, and he's moving. I'm playing with him next year too. So what's he like? What was playing with that whole team like? Because you guys had a good team.
Yeah, our team was awesome. The guys, we got along really well, and we had great coaches. And I think it was a fun year for me, first year junior, just learning how stuff goes in junior, and so much different than in minor hockey. And Sean was a terrific player for us. Him and the other older guys really showed me how to be professional and do the right thing on the ice.
Yeah, was it one guy or was it kind of a bunch of them?
That was a bunch of them. Me and Sean are still really good friends now, and I saw that he's captain of Air next year. That'll be awesome. Really good guy, so I think that'll be fun.
Yeah. What was the biggest thing you noticed changing? We asked McFarlane the same question. What was the biggest thing you noticed for Junior B and the OHL? From minor hockey, what was the biggest thing you noticed?
I think in going to Junior B, I think it was the physicality. I think going from playing against guys your own age in minor hockey and then playing first year Junior B, and there's 20-year-olds out there. They're a lot bigger, and I think when I got to the OHL, it was speed. I think everybody was so fast, and you had to adjust to the speed of the game and think faster.
For sure.
So we'll hop into minor hockey now. I think coached by your dad, what was that like? How did that affect you, and how cool was that to grow up with that?
It was cool. The first year I came back to play in Cambridge, my friend's dad was our coach, and then the next year my dad coached for the next 2 years in a row, and then he didn't coach this year after, and then he coached us for the rest after that. It was cool. I think he was hard on me, but I think I liked him being hard on me. I think it made me better, and taught me how to just learn, and he would teach me and stuff. So it was cool.
Yeah, it must be cool winning with them and stuff like that. We talked about that before, and you guys went on a major bench, and that must have been pretty cool to have your dad do everything with you, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. We ended up going to Thunder Bay for the OHS there, and we flew there. It was pretty cool. I think it was awesome, and just kind of time spent there with the team.
So you probably agree that he has a lot of influence on your career so far?
Yeah, for sure. I think just him on the car ride home after games, after practices, he'd always be telling me what I need to work on and stuff I can do to work on that and stuff like that. And I think just stuff you learn from even listening to him talk to other hockey people about what they need to work on. It's kind of, you just kind of pick up stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. So what was your you went from Air right to Guelph, right?
Kitchener.
From
Kitchener
Air
just
to
moved to Air,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah. How was that and then right into Guelph after that? How was that welcome moment going right into the OHL? That must have been really cool.
I think it was cool. I knew Ben signed earlier in the year, and I think it was cool to be reunited with him. I think a lot of the players on our team were the same age as me. I grew up playing either with them or against them in spring hockey tournaments or things like that, and I think it made the transition easy. The guys I knew and everybody on the team, all the older guys were super nice and kind of welcomed all the new guys, and it made the transition easy.
Was that like kind of not tough, if you know what I mean? Like, but to see other guys sign the first year and then you had to wait till the second year, like, was that mentally a bit challenging to like keep pushing for it? If you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it didn't bother me. I just kind of knew that I just need to put another year of work in, go Kitchener and just keep playing my game, work on it, work on the little things that I need to work on to make it to the next level. And I think I just knew I had to keep pushing myself and then eventually made it.
Yeah, for sure. So what Keith was getting at, right? What was your big like when did you realize that you were playing with these like good players, right? Like what was your welcome to the OHL moment? They do that for the NHL a lot, but we're kind of in the OHL. Do you have one moment that you think of where it was like, oh, this is pretty cool?
I think almost everything, just all the new things we did. Was it like the media stuff we did with pregame videos and stuff like that, or playing against guys that are signed in the NHL? Like that was pretty cool. Like you're playing against like Delandria and playing with players that are signed too as well. It's pretty cool to know that you are playing against some of the best junior players in the world and playing against them. And I think that was just kind of surprised me and like was my welcome moment.
Yeah, and can you run us through a day in the life? We didn't really get to crack this much, which we're going to have more OHL guys on, but for people listening, like what's a day in your life when you're in Guelph, obviously?
Yeah. So I billeted in Guelph, so usually in the mornings we'd wake up. The high school guys, we'd go to high school. We'd have 3 classes at school. And then right after school, we'd go to the rink. We'd either work out before practice or after practice, and then we'd practice. And then we'd usually either have a meeting or video or something. Not always, but sometimes. And then we'd head home around 5:30, 4 o'clock-ish, something like that, between that range. And we'd
Long
go
days.
home. Fellas would have dinner for us, so
Cool.
pretty cool. Busy though.
Yeah, no, that sounds. I've heard. Yeah, McFarland was saying like it gets hard after a while. You love it, but like it's challenging to just keep at that routine.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tiring routine. At the first like about month, it takes a while to get used to that schedule, and then you're in the schedule routine for a bit, and then by the end of the year, it's starting to get tiring again, and then you just got to keep pushing through it.
Do you remember? Well, obviously you remember this, but can you explain your first goal and how awesome that would have been?
Yeah, we were actually in Saginaw, Michigan, doing a makeup game for a game that got canceled earlier in the year, and I just got a penalty for tripping, I think. And right as I came out of the box, someone passed it to me, and I went down on a partial breakaway, and I just kind of fanned on the shot a bit too, and it went kind of under the goalie's glove, and the goalie was actually Tristan Lennox, who I used to play with in minor hockey for a couple of years. That was kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. I remember seeing that online, actually. That would be cool to score on Lennox too, right? He's in the workout group now.
Yeah, we work out together now, so I remind him about it every once in a while too.
Now, how early into the season was that? Was that later, or was it?
Yeah, I think it was beginning of December. I think maybe
December.
Yeah, I think so.
So did you struggle with the same thing a lot of other players struggle with getting the first goal and just like the mental side of it?
Yeah, exactly. It was tough. It was hard. I knew I kept hitting the post and little things like that. And every time you missed a chance, you're just like, go back to the bench and you'd be down yourself. But once the first goal went in, it was kind of like a lot of weight off my shoulders. And I think it was just easier to play after that.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Like we talked
Feel
about
welcome
with many.
too.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
with like Ben McFarland too, like he said, huge relief. Like he felt like he was like there, like the right team, like had some good support around his teammates too as well. So like,
Yeah,
I guess
everyone
it's just a
was so
huge
happy.
weight off your shoulders once you get that first milestone.
Yeah, the whole team was all excited, and it was pretty cool moment.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's something everyone deals with, like no matter what. Like I said too, like just me in junior C, I had the same thing. Like everyone, their first level, right? Like whether it's someone who just made AAA for the first year, right? You just need a bounce,
Yeah, exactly.
and then after that they start coming. But that first one's always so tough for everyone.
Yeah, it was the same way with in junior B when I got my first goal. I think it took me a while, and it was the same thing, just like kind of weight off my shoulders. The whole bench was, you could hear, my parents said they could hear all the guys on the bench screaming, and they were
Hyping
so
you up.
happy. Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. Do you want to jump in a little bit of funny stories with your dad, or like most memorable stories with your dad?
Yeah, you got any good ones?
Um, I don't know. It's not really involving my dad, kind of like my whole family, but we went to Florida for a couple days to see my grandparents. They live there in the winter. This is I was probably 11, 12 maybe now, playing minor hockey. And our flight was scheduled in the morning, and we had a game that night. And our flight ended up getting delayed and we landed just an hour before our game started in Cambridge. So it's about an hour from Toronto. And we drove straight from the airport to the arena. And so one of the parents on the team went and picked up all my gear from my house, and all my teammates laid it out in the dressing room. And as soon as I got to the rink, I put on all my gear right away. And right as they were going out for the game, I was like just putting it on, and then I got out onto the bench straight for the start of the game.
Oh,
So
that's
it was,
That would
Sweet.
suck.
yeah, my ears were still plugged, and it
Jeez.
was tough. So
That's
That would feel
Wow.
brutal. Like I would feel
That's
so
like
bad on your
rough.
legs and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was tough, but
right into it.
it was cool. I think it was just, you didn't have time to think about the game. You just kind of popped right in there, and I think I ended up scoring or getting an assist or something in the game. So it was cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I think
What
that's
was it
definitely
like? Go ahead, Keith.
it's hard. That's like the pre-game mentality I find is always the toughest, because you're always like on yourself or overthinking everything, and then you get in. I usually find that once I start, then everything goes away and I'm focused, but it's just that pre-game when you're like, wow, this is happening and all of that.
Yeah,
So I guess
exactly.
from your story, it's good to not have that too.
Yeah, I think well, it's helpful too. Like also, like when you do the same thing before every game. I think this year I ate at the same time, ate the same meal, had the nap around at the same time. So like all that was kind of like helpful to just kind of forget about things.
Yeah, for sure.
Have routines is always important.
Yeah.
We've kind of been everywhere, but you want to jump into what it's like for people for your, like I said, we've been everywhere, but for your minor midget year and like talking to different teams, and we know your dad had the connection to Guelph. So were you always pretty certain that you were gonna get drafted by Guelph, or were you was it an unknown?
Not really. I talked to a bunch of teams. I think I wanted to keep my options open. I told teams that, and eventually Guelph picked me, and I think it was the right place for me. I think it's a good experience. But no, I'd other teams, like I wasn't telling them no. Like I would have been happy to go to anywhere in the OHL. I think all the teams are good places to go. But I also was trying to decide between NCAA and OHL too, and eventually just chose OHL.
Yeah, what was that decision like too for what was your mindset going in that decision?
Oh, it took a lot of thought. I think the year of junior B helped me just kind of think about that decision, and then I just weighed it. I think it was just the right decision for me to go play in the OHL. I think I was ready for it, and I think it was the right decision now.
Yeah, I think especially if you can jump in when you're 17, like you're only missing
Not
out on a
the wait.
16-year-old year, right? So you still have lots of time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Versus like if someone's ready when they're like 18 or 19, there isn't much of a point, right? But
Yeah.
you got your 17-year in, which is good. So going in, let's just you want to reflect on it too. I think we're kind of slowly wrapping up here. We want to reflect on your year and what'd you learn from it, what'd you gain from it, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it was a awesome learning year or development year for me. Just kind of watching the older guys like Cam Hillis, Gogulev, Gordeev, and like all the older guys that performed and produced offensively. I think just watching their habits behind the scenes that the fans don't get to see, like what they're doing in the gym and recovery and like post game shakes and medical like stretching and stuff like that. I think it was just a learning experience and take all that information in and try to use what I can to make myself a better player.
Yeah. So what are your keys going into next year?
I think I'm just gonna try and continue to play my game, but just trying to get stronger and faster on the ice and work on my shot and hopefully be able to produce offensively and maybe score a couple more goals.
Yeah. How much points did you have? I haven't looked at them yet. 2 goals, 6 assists. That's not bad for rookie year.
Yeah, and I missed some time. I missed almost a month with an injury, so that was kind of hard to battle through. But I didn't want to rush back into playing and risk making the injury worse. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
What kind of injury was it?
I had a Charlie horse in my leg.
Oh, okay.
So what'd it do? Like, what'd you do to get it back in time and stuff?
Just a lot of rehabilitation and physio and going to like specialists and just do a lot of that stuff and just trying to get the muscle working again.
Now, what were the Russian guys like?
They were awesome. I think you can't really tell what they're saying half the time. They're Russian, but you just hope they're not saying anything bad about you. But I stopped beside Andre, and he was good. They're cool. Like some of the stories they tell from when they grew up in Russia. Not all of them lived in Russia for as long. Like a couple of them have been here for a while, but they all speak Russian fluently. And they all speak English fluently, which is good too. But some of the stories they have from playing in Russia, and it's pretty cool to learn about that hockey culture kind of in Russia.
Well, it's pretty crazy over there, is it not?
Yeah, there's some different things that happen, I think. Yeah, it's different.
Do you remember any of the stories they told?
Not really off the top of my head. No. It's just different. I think it's the rinks are different and like how the progression of teams and stuff. It's once you're with kind of a team growing up, minor hockey almost, then you go to that junior team and then you go to that pro team. So it's kind of like, and like it's different. It's weird, I think, how they do it, but it seems to
like
work.
do they take it like more strictly over there? Like how's like the atmosphere, like the rinks and stuff like that? Is it not much different to Canada or?
Yeah, I don't know like a ton of that stuff, but I know we got a player from Czech Republic on our team this year halfway through, and he was telling me he played junior in Finland past year.
Oh, okay.
And he was telling me before their practices and after the practice they have to run, whether it was snowing, hailing. Like he said, the one time they were running through like a foot of snow, and just like no matter what, they still had to run. So it was pretty crazy to hear that, but it's kind of cool.
Well, apparently training camps and stuff in Europe are like next level. Like they're crazy intense.
Yeah, from what I've heard, I think they're pretty intense and they get them in good shape. So,
like I said, we've jumped around a lot this episode, but we talked about your dad coaching you and stuff like that, but we haven't actually talked about your experiences having. You said you were in North Carolina till you were 7 around there or whatever.
Yeah.
How what was that experience like? Like, were you going to a bunch of games? What was the behind the scenes like? Like, wasn't that pretty cool?
Yeah, it was awesome. He retired in 2010, so I would have been 8. So it was kind of cool. We went to every home game, and then I'd get to go in like practices sometimes. So I didn't have school and hang around the dressing room with the guys and meet them and play ping pong with them. And, so that was pretty cool. A couple of guys would come over to our house for dinners and stuff, and just get to kind of talk to them and just like watching them on the ice, and then eventually get to see them at my house. So I think that was cool. My dad's still good friends with a lot of them, so we get to catch up every once in a while, and it's neat to talk to them again.
Oh, yeah, that would be.
Was there any ones you really remember, like talking to more than others? Like, there's always the one that's really nice and stuff like that, right? Do you remember any of those guys?
We were really good friends with Matt Cullen. I remember I used to go over to his house for like Christmas and Thanksgiving and stuff, and he had a couple little kids, so we'd always play mini sticks with them in their basement, and that was pretty fun. He was always really nice to me, a really nice guy. And there's a lot of them. Like, we used to get together as just families and stuff, the guys to the kids, for like Easters and do like events for that. And like, I don't know, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely something. It's definitely something that a lot of people don't get to experience. But that must have been so cool as a kid.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of neat stuff. And then we'd come back for the summers and live in Cambridge for the summer months when he wasn't playing. So it was kind of cool to come back and hang out with my family and stuff.
For sure. You guys got anything else from? I think we're wrapping up now.
I think
we got through everything.
That was pretty good. That was solid. We got all the
awesome.
points.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming on.
Good
to meet you.
For having me.
Hope to
Let's see if you can beat McFarles now.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little competition now.
For sure. We'll definitely see them.
Yeah, thanks again for coming on, and we'll hopefully talk to you soon.
Perfect. Thanks for having me.
No
All right,
problem.
perfect.
Good luck
yeah,
with your season.
good meeting you.
Thank you.